Careful, bro. Careful.
Alright, in the last video, we introduced the idea of microcosms and talked about how you could apply that idea to being authentic in an age of inauthenticity. Wow, that was a mouthful. Especially as the internet gets more and more polluted by short-form dopaminergic content. Our attention spans are shortening and our authenticity is decreasing. But if you want to hear more about that, you're gonna have to go watch the last video. Today, we're gonna talk about how you don't waste your life. And we're again gonna apply the idea of microcosm. What is a microcosm? Let's talk about that first. This guy's trying to rush us. Anyways, a microcosm is a representation of something as a whole. One day is a microcosm of your life. It's a representation of your life as a whole. Which is why in the last video I talked about how it's very easy to get started on some new habit or to quit an addiction, because all you have to do is to focus on the microcosm. Whoa. Trap triggered. Oh, this guy's trying to rush us. What are the 2 keys to not wasting your life? Number 1, you gotta have clear goals. You have to have a clear vision, and we're gonna break that down into 3 steps. And number 2, you have to act on it, and that's where the idea of the microcosm comes into play. Here they come. Wow, I am burning up. Oh.
Nope, I guess not.
I did not get them. This guy's looking for a free kill.
Oh wait, no, it's a 2v2 now. Okay, no, we just gotta lock him. That's a slight problem. They have the high ground. The second he jumps at me.
Ooh,
Nice.
knocked him down. Alright.
Boom.
Boom.
Nice.
Wombo
Nice.
combo.
Oh, okay, now we just jump the guy at base then.
Yeah.
Don't fall into the
Alright,
void though. That's gonna turn out badly.
Yeah. Oh, lag back. Oh my goodness. Immediate loss. Okay, I'm watching you.
It's fireballing everything.
Alright, you should rush now. He's
Oh,
buying stuff. He has a TNT, by the way.
Okay, that's whatever.
There's like 4 people watching you right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm freaking dead.
But right now, let's focus on step number 1 of not wasting your life, which is to make a clear plan for how you're going to live your life. And how do you do this? You know, a lot of us have visions of how we want to live our life. A lot of us have an end state, but it's not clear and it's not well defined. So number 1 is you should define your end state clearly. And what is an end state? End states are basically like how you want your life to end up, you know, maybe 5, 10, 20 years from now. Look at this massive speed bridge. Absolutely locked in. Boom. So how do you want your life to end up? Let's say you are an aspiring F1 driver. Now, how do you define an end state? Obviously, the end state will be, oh, yeah, that was not fantastic. Obviously, the end state is either going to be, I want to be driving an F1, or I want to be winning the World Driver Championship. You know, just an example. So now that you have defined an end state, what you want to be, what you want to do, very clearly, you have to define exactly what you want to end up as. You know, make it clear to yourself, make your vision clear to yourself. Now you have to take the second step, which is to, wow, this guy is bridging quickly. Are we cooked?
Hopefully not.
Wow.
There's a real possibility that we are. Okay. Go careful
Wow.
there.
Okay, you got this. Maybe your end state is something very simple, like I want 6 hours of free time a day to do whatever I desire. You know, clear, and it's well defined, and that's what you need in end state. Our bed defense is not well defined. Take a look at this. Looks like
That's the whole point. We gotta confuse them. We're trying to confuse them. That's the whole point.
Alright, you know what? I'll play into the idea.
Put the enemy in a state of confusion so that we can stab them.
Of course. Sun Tzu probably said something about that. It looks like a great big pile of red dung.
Confuse yourself to the point of confusing your enemy.
Wow. We are cooked.
Yes. We're done, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of
Are
over.
we done?
Yeah, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not great. I guess our state of confusion was too great. I think I should like focus on red defense instead of trying to do whatever I'm doing.
Now that we've defined a clear end state, you know, you've got to define a clear end state to actually get started on your goals. Where do you want to end up? Don't do for the sake of doing unless doing is your end state. You know, some people who go to the gym don't have an end state of exactly how they want their muscles to look or something. They just go for love of the game. You know, that might be their end state. That's fine. But if your end state is something that actually can be attained, that's not a behavior, just a state of being, then you're going to need to do step 2, which is to break it down into milestones. No! Failure is inevitable, and we'll revisit that point later. Why, you may ask? I'll tell you why later. Anyways, what are milestones and how do you define them?
My red bed's cooked.
Wow.
And my sword is on. And
Wow. That was a quick end to the game.
yo, give me like 3 more minutes for that. I would have been done with the bed defense, by the way. You know?
It's not like 3 minutes is a long time in Bedwars.
Yeah. We need glass, but glass is expensive, no?
We got to donate to the group glass fund, GoFundMe.
Yeah, I don't know if our teammates will follow through with that.
Kind of hard to speed bridge and talk about planning out your entire life at the same time. As you can see, I'm not very successful at it, so maybe I should focus on one thing at a time, which is what making milestones will help you with, which is to focus on one thing at a time until you reach your end state. Now, how do you make a milestone? Right, let's say your goal is to be a professional Minecraft streamer. You know, it's probably relatable to at least one person. You know, statistically speaking, if there's more than like 20 viewers, realistically, there is a chance that at least one of you wants to do this. So, let's say you're starting from nothing, right? Oh man, this sweat is about to kill us.
Guys, oh god. I'm dead. Okay, this is not good.
You're the only one that's left.
Oh my god.
To offset our mind from that horrible loss we just had back there, let's define some milestones on our way to becoming a professional Minecraft streamer. You know, might be relatable, might not, but it provides an example, and that's what matters. First milestone might be reaching 100 subscribers. The second milestone might be streaming once a week for 25 weeks. You know, milestones are things that are large enough that you have to actually work towards them over a long period of time, but small enough that they're not so far off in the future that you can't even see them on the horizon. You know, it's something that you should be able to look forward to, but something that you know that there's going to be a sufficient amount of work in pursuing. And the third level of granularity is where things get hard, and it's defining every individual step as you pursue success in that milestone. And the thing about that is that a lot of people hyper-cerebralize it. They spend a lot of time planning it out, and instead of working, they spend all their time just planning out every detail of exactly how they're going to do it. And there's two problems with that. Number one, you're not actually progressing towards your goal. You're engaging in mentally allowing yourself to be complacent with your current situation while feeling like you're going towards your goal, when you're not actually going towards your goal, and all you're doing is wasting time doing something that is only tangentially related to your goal. So now that you have your milestones set, you don't need to actually plan out exactly how every single day leading up to the milestone is going to go. And the reason why you can't do that is because failure is inevitable. And that might sound horribly depressing to a lot of people. Just like that death was right there. I just lost to that guy who had half a heart of health. But failure is inevitable, as we just saw back there. And why is failure inevitable, and how do we look at failure? Failure is inevitable because on the path to success, if you don't fail, then something is wrong. You know, if you're pursuing a large goal that's sufficiently difficult enough, failure will always be present. That's just how life works. Failure sounds depressing, you know? Oh, I failed. Oh, this is terrible. You know, this is totally a reflection of me as a person. But that's the main mistake that most people make. They think that failure is a reflection of their moral worth and their worth as a human being. And that's simply not true. Failure is just a tool. Failure is a tool to learn. And most people don't view it that way because they view failure as a personal moral loss or a proof that they are not worthy as a person. And that is a problem that should be addressed. The question is, how do you address that?
How about bed defense? Pretty great, eh?
Looks fantastic, you know, avant-garde, you know, modern art, Picasso.
I learned from only the best. You know, I would have been rich during the Renaissance, you know, I'm just saying.
The Renaissance is well known for its elaborate bed defenses.
Indeed.
Wow. Just
Yo, what are they doing? What is that? What is that defense?
That is, yeah, they would have been very rich in the Renaissance. They just built a whole castle.
Schrodinger's defense? There's a 50% chance that the bed is there, but there's also a 50% chance that the bed does not exist. So let's go open Schrodinger's defense.
Wow.
Hey, you died.
I just
well,
clicked on that NPC, and they just killed me.
I died. Okay, I suck. But we already knew that.
Remember, your failing is not a moral reflection of you as a person, as we were talking about. And to build off of that, let me kill this guy. Boom. Alright, failure for him, but not a moral reflection of him as a person. But how do we actually think about this? Because it's easier said than done. A lot of us logically understand this argument. We understand failure is not a moral reflection of us as a person, and yet we still think about it as that way. And the idea is to have an internal locus of control. Now, what is an internal locus of control? You know, a locus in math is a set of points, but we're not talking about a set of points here. An internal locus of control in this specific context, you know, it's been talked about by a lot of philosophers throughout history. You know, the Stoics talked about it thousands of years ago, and the YouTube channel Better Ideas talked about it about 2 years ago, and leading up to now. I think they've continued talking about it in their recent videos. By the way, they're a fantastic channel about self-improvement, and you should check them out. The guy who runs the channel makes some really good videos talking about some really good points. Anyways, we haven't answered the question yet. What is an internal locus of control, and how does it help you? It's a pretty simple idea, just with some interesting terminology. The idea is just to not be affected by external events. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus talked about this in a different manner of speaking. He talked about that humans are the only, you know, living being that is capable of the aspect of reason. And reasoning is the thing that sets us apart from animals, right? Animals react to situations, kind of, that's the way that they live their life. Something happens, they react immediately and viscerally. And that's seemingly a reflection of how a lot of us, including me at some points, live our lives. You know, we are all to some level guilty of this because obviously we are all living beings, and living beings will obviously react to stuff. But how do we take control of this? It is to spend time on reason, because reason and our reaction to things, both physical and mental, is the only thing that we will always have control over. No matter how bad our situation is. Wow, that situation was very bad. But I'm not going to react negatively to this. I'm not going to beat my computer against a wall because some guy just fireballed me off that tower, no matter how enraged some streamers might be. You know, it's great for views, but it's not great for my internal locus of control. Having an internal locus of control is just being able to dictate your reactions and your thoughts on each situation as it happens. It's a pretty simple idea, but hard to apply in practice. How do you apply this in practice? We go back to the idea of microcosms. And microcosms, in this case, are especially important. because when you start to try and apply a lifestyle change, it feels daunting, you know? It's like quitting an addiction or starting a new habit or starting to go to the gym after years of stagnation. I'm not talking about myself here, totally not. I'm totally not talking about my last 3 years of, you know, not going to the gym, not exercising properly. Totally. All right. You know, it takes one to know one. You know, coaches don't play. What was I talking about? Right. Internal locus of control. How do you apply a new behavior into your life? The idea of microcosms is easily applied here, and these guys have a almost impenetrable defense, except I can just jump over them.
Wait, is there obsidian?
I don't know. They have water covering some parts, but the water is more of like propaganda, like moral support for them. Like it doesn't even cover the entire defense.
In about like 5 seconds, I'm about to go home and just like make sure no one kills me. Basically, we're getting out of here. We're out of here. We are out. We took bread and we get out of there. Okay, bread tastes better than key. Okay, we don't want key. We want bread.
Wow. They just got me here.
Yeah, bro. You killed a person.
Whew. Got 2 kills before I died. Bed gone in 10 seconds. My goodness, that was the best timing.
What? 50% chance I die?
I just got 10 golden apples.
Oh, there's a red guy coming for us right now. I feel like a fireball would be really nice.
I feel like he's baiting us.
He is definitely baiting us.
Oh.
Yo!
I looked away for 1 second, and I fell in the void.
That's like the most anticlimactic death ever, bro. Bro survived the zombie apocalypse and then gets ran over by a truck.
Can you like start rushing this guy? I'm about to get a thumbnail shot.
Oh, okay, fine, I'll do it. Oh. Yeah.
I think I got a good one. Look. Wow. Whoa,
where did that come from? I might just go to center right now, because they're not doing anything, right?
That might be a good idea, because the border's gonna shrink in 2.5 minutes. While we watch you clutch this game, I'm gonna do a little commentary on the internal locus of control and how you can fail effectively. Now, at this point, we both logically know that failure is beneficial. So, reasonably, we should fail faster. But the problem is the psychological aspect of failing. We don't want to fail because it feels like a moral reflection of us as a person. You know, it's not, wow, these guys are just cluster bombing.
Yeah, I think they're trying to drop nukes on like a village of small children. Maybe iron golems are the play right now. I'll just buy as many gapples as I can get. Wait, when is border shrinking, or is it right now?
It is right now.
I just killed a person.
You know, in engineering, there's rapid prototyping. You have to fail fast. You have to get as many failures as possible to learn as much as possible about your product and to make the best product possible. An F1 driver, Nick Lauda, you know, when he received a medal a couple years ago, made his speech, he talked about how the medal was dedicated to the losers, because losing has always taught more than winning. So obviously, logically, we know this, and we have the idea of the internal locus of control to back us up. We now know how to endure the hardships of repeated failures, because we know that it's coming. The rest of your life is today because of the idea of the microcosm. Today is the only day that matters, because today is a microcosm and representation of the rest of your life. So, go fast, start today, and plan it out in 3 levels.
Oh, I don't have, okay, what the hell?
This is the first time I've seen so many, people try to rush us out once. Wow.
Yeah. I stole someone's teleport.
Failed that rush. It's horrendous.
That's what my physics teacher said after I failed my test. So that's a power 1 punch 1 bow. And wise men say, you know, only fools rush in. If our bed gets breaking right now, yo, we need to kill that guy with the bow, bro. Like 4 of us just rush him at once. Okay, never mind. I don't think this is winnable. Okay, that's a very
wow. This guy bombed me from the right, and the other guy shot me from the left.
I don't see why. You know, we're kind of just abandoning our teammates here. It is a 2v4. We have numbers.
This is numbers when we are just absolutely failing and getting dominated.
No. I believe. You know, I believe in the cause.
I believe in my fireball.
Not. Oh wait, you should look. Yeah, just fireball him. No, don't fireball him yet. No. It was towards a good cause, you know. After the other person, if the other person decides to leave, okay, they are dueling and okay. Wait, they're getting shot at with bows right now. We should just rush them. I'm gonna wait for you. Once we have the perfect chance, we can just rush them. It was not a great time to rush. She was not that bad. No. We just gotta get the perfect chance, you know.
You know, 99% of gamblers, 99% of rushers quit before they finally not get shot by a power bow.
Yeah, okay, so now where are we gonna go? Okay.
Alright, hold up. Let me lock in.
See the vision? The vision is just so cool.
Whoa.
Yep. Yo, he made it across. If you can kill him, this is golden. This is okay. Going for that.
No.
Oh, no, I'm alive, and that's what matters, you know.
Oh, we can get a silverfish snowball with 24 iron. I'm about to do that.
I'm kind of waiting for this guy to run out of arrows. At a certain point, they'll run out of arrows. What the crap? So what's he gonna do if we have all of us? All of us here together for the cause. Wait, let's see.
Really? Wait, look at chat.
Yeah, I think one of them went invis though, I'm not gonna lie.
Alright, now rush.
Groom. I want you.
No!
Whoa. We gotta be really careful then.
Oh,
so
wow.
far, huh?
This guy just got me a bunch of iron. I'm gonna stick to the plan and buy a bunch of bedbugs. I have 10 bedbugs.
I'm gonna invest the rest of my money into bedbugs. I trust you. I have 3 of them. I got 3 bedbugs. Yo, let's go.
Rush.
I'm sorry.
Whoa. I'm at center. No.
I fell into the void.
Wow. That video was quite eventful, and I was rambling for a long while. So, let's take a look at where we stand. How do you not waste time in your life? Number 1, you have to have a clear goal. And number 2, you have to work towards the goal. It's very, very simple. We all know this, but how do we break this down into something that's actually useful? So for part 1, we have to have clear subdivisions. So number 1, obviously the end state. You have to understand and you have to really clearly define exactly where you want to end up at the end. You know, a lot of us have very vague long-term goals, and we hope that our work, however tangentially related, will get us to the actual end state. But you know, that ain't gonna work. So how do you actually define an end state? To summarize, you know, you just got to be clear in what you want, and don't give up on your goals. By the way, a lot of people you know, give up on their goals to be realistic. Wow, those block placements were bad. A lot of people give up on their goals to be realistic or to be more social with informant, and that will end up with regrets. That will lead you down a pretty dark path pretty quickly, because if you're doing something that you hate for the rest of your life, you will not be happy with your life, guaranteed. A lot of people end up in a, you know, accounting degree, not knowing what they want with themselves, not knowing what they want to do, and they're just doing it because, you know, sounds reasonable, not something that they actually want to do. So if your end state is something that does not actually reflect your values as a person, it will not help you. So define a clear and high quality end state, and after that you have to subdivide it into milestones. And as I said earlier, milestones are clearly defined major goalposts that you have to get to as you work towards your end state. If, let's say, summiting Mount Everest is the end state, then every base camp along the way is a milestone. You can actually look forward to the base camp, you can see it on the horizon, but it takes work to get to each one. And then after that, you have to get the granular goals. You have to get it down to the details. And one mistake that a lot of people make is just planning out every single day on their way to the goal. And as I said, that will not work because failure is guaranteed. Why is failure guaranteed? Because it's the only way that we learn from our mistakes. So don't plan out every single day for the remainder of your life. That is counterproductive, and you're basically just wasting time instead of actually making progress. And that leads us to the second part. Obviously, you have to actually work on what you want to do. Start with a microcosm. Start with today. Only focus on today because today is the only thing that matters. Tomorrow you can focus on...
Our bed's close?
What?
We are kind of easy kills right now, I'm not gonna lie.
You know...
No, oh, there's someone! Oh my god, you're clicking!
Nope.
No, so for that.
Insanity is when you do something over and over and over again and expect a different result without changing anything. And the thing about failing is that we have to be cognizant of this. We have to be cognizant of things that we can actually do better and improve about ourselves. You know, it's not enough to just accept that failure is inevitable. It's important that we actually take that into account and improve from it. You know, failure is only useful if you actually get something out of it. Otherwise, you're just failing for the sake of failing, and really, even with an internal locus of control, there's no point. So, step number 2 was to actually do it. How do you actually do it? Embrace the microcosm, do it today. Fail fast and fall forwards. How do you fall forward? By learning from your mistake. It's all very straightforward, all very easy to say, but a lot of times it's important to hear it from a different voice so that you actually, consider the idea and end up doing it. And the internal locus of control can really be applied to anything else. If you get insulted, don't take it personally. Don't take it as a reflection of your worth as a person, because you have the ability to decide how you think about it and how you react to it. That is the most important skill that you can have, because it is the only thing that you will forever be in control of once you master. Well, thank you for watching. Hopefully this was entertaining and useful to your self-development as a human being. I will see you in the next video.